Decision.
No, no.
So yesterday one news seen regarding UP.
Mhm.
Yes, Sundar sir.
Yes.
Yes, those land captured by Atik Amal,
Mm-hmm.
government now recovered recovered
Mm-hmm.
and government prepared home as like PM Awas Yojana, approx
Mm-hmm.
76 flats,
Yes.
and they will distribute to our BPL people as per.
That's very good. Good decision.
Yes, this type of new in our
So
India first
this
time.
type का government होना चाहिए. This type of government is working well,
Yes,
and policing is also here well in UP.
yes,
But very worst condition policing is of Delhi. Delhi police is निठल्ला, like कुछ भी काम नहीं करते.
it's just opposite.
Just opposite, and it is unfortunate. Police is under control of central government, but a very bad result.
Yes,
Delhi police is under control of the central government. It is all directly under control by Home Minister. But what is doing Home Minister? I don't know. It's very bad condition.
yes.
और बढ़िया है.
So today, which topic we will discuss, sir? Any idea?
Let other members join, sir.
Yes, yes, no problem. So
We can discuss now policing system now also state-wise policing of India.
police,
What's the condition of police?
police. Okay, police. Yes, yes. I think every place police role is as per order by his boss. So whatever they are doing, as per order by his command decision. So it's a very bad regarding our Pahalwan.
Yes, yes.
It doesn't matter who is involved with this for this. It's a very bad situation now created.
Have you watched the video clip of Sakshi murder case?
No, no, not watch. Only seen news regarding one person now in jail, and they accept this. Yes, I am finished this. And you listen or no? Kerala movie something.
No, sir. Here, actually, here is not theater.
No, no, it's a
So
present in YouTube, I think. YouTube. If you
I
will,
don't know.
if you will research on YouTube, Kerala story.
It
Now
is
it's
it is available on YouTube channel.
yes, yes.
I don't. Mm. Actually, I didn't see.
Yes. No problem. And next news, I like IPL winner is Dhoni. Yes, old is
Yeah,
gold.
that's great match. Ever been? It was ever been a great match. No such type of match I have seen.
Yes.
That was a final match, just final match. It was looking like final match.
Every ball is
Yes. Sometime match was going to Gujarat in the favor of Gujarat, and sometime it was coming to Chennai. Gujarat, Chennai, Gujarat, Chennai. At least
and one
match
of the
was
till last
uh,
year suspense is present. Who
it
will
was
see?
extreme level, thrilling point. That the last ball, but he was the man Ravindra Jadeja who covered
Yes. 2 balls, 10 runs.
two ball 10 run. Unbelievable, yes, but he was succeed.
1 6 and 1 4. Eh?
Actually, I I had no interest about that the match
Yes.
like IPL match, but at last final match I wish to watch
Yes. But due to rain,
and
I was also slept. Due to rain, match was sometimes break na due to rain. समझे sir? Where is the Vivek? Vivek now not
teams
playing.
were well. Both the teams, Chennai Super Kings and Gujarat Tigers, both the teams were strong.
Yes. And Sunil, do you know, as per my view, Hardik Pandya is like a student of Dhoni.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So, as per my view, Hardik Pandya role is also very good. I like Guru Chela Chini.
Yes. But match was very extremely level thrilling match.
Yes.
At the last, till the last ball, it was going. If we if the match will be going to Tigers or Chennai Super Kings.
Yes. The suspense was continued till last ball.
Yes.
Who will win? Hi,
Hi,
Brenda.
Brinda.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Surendra
Very
and
good evening.
Pankaj.
So, Brenda, you reached home?
Yes, I am in home.
Okay, that's great. Actually, we are discussing regarding our final match of IPL.
Cricket match. It is cricket match. Premier League.
Ah, okay.
Do you know cricket?
Yes, it's a game, right?
Yes, it's a game.
Here in India, it is very popular. Every child of Indian citizen want to play cricket match. You can find out everywhere playing the children here and there.
Yes, Brenda, you have any topic? Which topic we'll discuss today?
Okay. Okay. The cricket is not a topic for today, right?
No, it's a topic. Actually, in the starting time, we are
Yes.
discussing regarding.
Maybe select other topic because I don't know much about the cricket,
Yes, yes.
but maybe video games. Video games is maybe a controversial.
Yes.
You know, different video games, right?
Yes, yes. A lot of video games.
When you was a child, you play different video games or no?
No, when we were child, in that time, only physically game was available in that time. Yes, Unu sir.
Yes, I think physical game, outdoor game is also always well compared to video game. Video game is only taking like a
Mind,
recreation.
mind game, not a physical
Yes.
game.
So through the physical
Yes,
game,
me.
you can be healthy. If you are playing physical game, you can be healthy. Uh, while you are playing the game of physical like football, volleyball, cricket, your body activity always doing mind and hands and foot always these parts of body are working. So I think it is good. Outdoor game is always well.
Yes, me too. Only play a physical games, but the kids no play the physical decrease lot of decrease.
Yes,
Yes, here also I usually kids are playing video game like PUBG. PUBG is banned, but substitute of PUBG is available. So two or three children along with they are playing with their mobiles. So always they are busy, but it is bad thing. Yeah, there is chance to be habitual. If children being habitual, they play. Usually, a lot of time they spend on the video game. Their study disturbed and also physical activity decreased. So it is harming. Video game is harmful for the children.
Yes, actually, I don't know if in India, but in USA and Mexico, the video games it's it's the more popular gift for the kids. And for me, this is bad because for me, I don't like the video games because exist different video games, different type of video games. Maybe different video games are okay, but the most famous video game is with violence, different sense, graphic with violence, and the behavior in this game is like a criminal because different
Mhm.
weapons appear in this video game. And what happened if one child play this type of video game? You may change because maybe the kids thinking this is a normal in the world. This essence, this essence, it is a normal, but no matter if the kids is in a good family or different situation in the family, the teen see this violence all day.
Yes, so I think if any kids play game more and more, so it's not good for his health also, mind also, and physically, because kids' eye is very innocent, means very soft.
Yes, in USA the kids try to replay, try to make this scene in the real life.
Yes,
In USA, for example, the weapons are allowed in USA. In India, the weapons are allowed. The fire guns. No,
No, in
this is
India, actually, in India, no one can find out a gun without permission of government. You have to take permission. It is very strict rule to find out gun. Uh, to take permission is you have to go undergoes a very strict certification. You have to
yes,
take, then you can purchase a gun.
here license needed, and license cost is very big amount.
okay. Need a course.
Yes, first of all, permission needed, and I like license. No, no, I like for driving license you need a certificate. So if you want to purchase gun, so first of all you need license for purchase gun. So,
Your
Okay,
character certificate needed, and your verification, criminal background will be checked, and many type of verification you have to undergoes, and then you can find out the license to take to purchase the gun, and it is very costly. And
okay.
no, all the people cannot buy the gun. Only there is a quota, something everybody cannot purchase. Very few person have their own gun.
I see in the news this morning
Mhm.
in USA yesterday was a holiday, Memorial Day in USA yesterday, and nine person was shooting. I don't know in a festival in USA for the holiday, the Memorial Day. The Memorial Day is celebrated for, I don't know. You remember the history in the World Trade Center, one aeroplane
yes, it's Osama bin
to
Laden.
stamp.
Osama bin Laden. Yes,
Yes, and in USA, uh, create one day for these victims. And yesterday was celebrated this day, Memorial Day. Is this day Memorial Day in USA? But in the news, presenting nine person was shooting yesterday in Hollywood.
okay.
But in USA, all weapon all allow or permission. The people have permission. All people, because the test is for a main. I don't know what is the correct name. Testing for a main. or brain.
But you see, sometimes it's not good. Every people has gun. It's sometimes not good because our kids is innocent and sometimes a small angry time they shooted to other person. You know, Brenda, in USA we seen a lot of news below 18 years
Yeah,
kids shooted to other people. So I think this is a big issue right now. What's your opinion,
yes,
Brenda? Because every person has gun right now. So kids' mind is not.
yes. In USA, anyone can have um, weapons in a house or in the street, and the reason here is because it's legal, and maybe I think for they protect your life, but one weapons kill other person or maybe innocent person.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste. How are you? How are you all doing?
Yes,
Wow,
sir.
Namaste, sir.
regular
Namaste.
crowd, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I also just started for a walk, so I'll show you guys something which we were talking the other day.
Yes.
See how the can you guys see it? It's still
It's a
getting
every
dark
time.
though.
It's a every time,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But can you still see it?
Yes,
I
yes,
wanted
sir.
to show you.
Yes.
Yes. So what it is that every complex here. See, this is all the residential area, but they have a kind of pond you can think of. Pond where all the rainwater they store. You see this? So it's
Drainage.
just for the rainwater storage. So anytime there is overflow of rain, all the water from different complex go to different side. This is only for like this building here, a couple of buildings, and the water comes. It goes through that, and this goes to another uh, place, and that's how the whole rainwater is harvested in this country. So they do good job. That goes ultimately to some kind of stream.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I wanted to show you guys. Now I'm walking, so you guys continue. What is the topic today?
The topic for today is video games. Maybe not specific the video games, but many or different video games have different essence, graphic, criminal behavior in the video games. Video games.
Oh, okay. I have a request. I have seen something very important happening in Indian politics, and I would like to change the topic for today, which would be of like a political interest, because what happened is India is that Parliament was inaugurated by Prime Minister, and we also have President in India. So we have, unfortunately, two power centers, and that has created a mess in a way. There is always struggle, and people are not analyzing this. They are not discussing this. That what a mess it is. So if you guys agree, I would like to change today's topic
Yes, sir.
to
Yes, of course, sir.
Yes.
presidential form of government, presidential form of government versus the prime ministerial form of government. In other words, the British type of government. Is that okay with all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, so why I'm bringing this? I have been watching Indian political news for last few days.
Sir, sir,
Yeah.
before to continue, can you please explain what is the parliament or what is the?
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, so ask the question. Stop me when I'm explaining something. Okay,
Okay.
so so I will. What I'm going to do is that I am going to explain both type of system. So what is the presidential form of government that we have in the United States, and in one form or the other, it's in, it is in the many other countries where head of the government is president. Okay, then there are another parallel political systems where head of the government is not the president but the prime minister. So let me give you the example of both types. United States, we have a presidential type of government. So head of the government in United States is a president. I think Mexico has the same thing, right? You have the president. Is that correct or
Yes.
not?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
So yes. So yeah. So you also have the same thing. Let's take Russia. Russia has head of the government is president. China head of the government is president. France head of the government is president. But then you have another parliamentary type of system where head of the government is not president but prime minister. And on the top of that list is British. Britain has prime minister. Italy has prime minister. India has prime minister. Japan has prime minister. Just to give you a name of the few top countries in both type of systems. So this is the two types of system we have. Okay, in general. Now let's see first if you guys have any question. I think before I proceed, I just gave you a general overview of the two systems as a head of the government where I see the problem. Do you guys have any question at this point? Let's discuss it if there is any.
Yes. And what is the difference of activities in both systems?
Okay. All right. So basically in the in the prime minister type of system, uh, I have to give a little bit of more explanation to make it easier to understand. So first thing is that let's understand that the power is divided in the American system or presidential form of system. President is the decision maker of the country. Nobody else makes decision, but president ultimately makes the decision. But president makes that I mean, sometimes, like in American system, he cannot unilaterally just make any decision as he wish. He has to, whatever decision he wants to make, he has to go and get approval of that from the parliament. Uh, within some time frame. I mean, suppose for example, he has to start a war. He doesn't have to get a permission of the parliament to start a war, but he will have to go to parliament to explain that this is the circumstances I have to plunge into war. Because, these things don't happen in the planned way, right? And for example, United States went to war with Iraq. Probably you were not even born, or maybe you were born in 91. I remember it because my son was born at that time. I was in the hospital when the war started with Senior Bush. So, you know, so he went to the parliament to explain that this is the situation, this is the problem, and this is why I have to go to the war. And then normally it get endorsed by the parliament. Okay, so here in the United States we have three bodies. One is the president, second is the parliament, and third is the judicial system, which is independent. So judicial system it has the job of interpretation of the constitution, I'm talking about more of a political power right now at the top, not of the law and order situation of everyday life. So, so basically, you can say that there is a constitution in America which is like 200 years old, 1779, I think. Yeah, it's more than that. And president is supposed to, everybody is supposed to follow. So suppose if president or parliament, if they don't follow the constitution, then anybody can bring a lawsuit against that. You and I, as a citizen, can bring a lawsuit in the court that president is doing this act, which is against the constitution, and so this is how it's structured. Okay, that is the legal part. So that's separate. But as I said, that president makes all the decision. But uh, there are certain things which, like laws. Suppose if you, within the framework of constitution, if you want to bring a law or change a law, then mostly that is done by parliament here in this country. It's not done by president. Mostly the major laws changes are done by parliament, and there are two parliament houses. One is called Senate in American system, and then one is the House of Representative. So a law can be brought in any of the house, and then once the both houses passes it, then it goes to president for the signature. President has option to return if he doesn't like it. Then normally there is a joint house of the meeting, and they can decide yes or no on the president. If they say no, whatever we told you first time, that's fine. Then president has to accept that. He cannot veto it forever. So that's how it works. Now, what happened in the Indian case? Okay, Surendraji, any questions so far? What I explained about American system? Indian system you guys already know, but I'm going to talk about that now. But that's why I'm asking if there is any question on the American system, which I explained.
In America system, only president is all in one.
Yes, president is all in one, and you would be surprised to know that I didn't tell you that he has not more than 8 or 9 cabinet ministers. We call it secretaries here. For example, foreign secretary, defense secretaries, all the different departments, transportation secretary, so health secretary. So there are not more than 9 ministers. I would say that less than that.
But here
And
cabinet minister is a lot.
uh
In India,
what?
cabinet minister is a lot of people.
So wait a minute, I have not finished it. So these 9 ministers, how they are elected? They are the expert of their own field. For example, the finance minister right now we have. So the finance minister we have right now, she used to be the governor of the Reserve Bank of America. You call it that equivalent. We call it Treasury. So similarly, the health minister will be one of the top doctor of this country. Okay, like that, there are so few of the ministers which presidents elect. They all are like different discipline. Where, like I told you, like if it is finance, the finance expert will be minister. If it is transportation, somebody from transportation will be minister. But there are some other departments where a general people can become the minister also or secretary, and that president can nominate. President in this country cannot nominate their family member to be the any minister. So there is no nepotism. There is a law against it that you cannot make your brother or sister or your son or daughter-in-law, your father-in-law or anybody like that, a cabinet minister or anything like that. Uh, so so that's how it is. So first, president decides, and the president CBI call it equivalent to CBI, like we have groups FBI they call it here. They investigate that this guy doesn't have any corruption or any criminal charges or any sexual offender type of situation or any of the things. Because if this guy is not clean, in his or her career, when he goes for when he or she is brought for ratification by the Senate or House of Representative on the recommendation of President, you know, sooner or later this get leaked out. That okay because there are whole country involved. Somebody would know that this guy had he's a sexual offender. He did somewhere something whatever it is. So there is a very good system that it filters out if you have a criminal background or anything. And if you have a criminal background, what president does if he discovers that this guy didn't tell me the whole story, he or she, and he has bad background, he or she can withdraw. I mean, president can withdraw the nomination of that candidate anytime before the hearing, or in the hearing. Also, it happens that something is brought up in the hearing, then this guy, the ministers, whatever recommendation president had made, he or she cannot be selected. That's how this guy has a problem. So they can Senate or House of Representative, they can say no, we don't want this guy as a minister or secretary. So they cannot be selected. Okay. So president has got not only power, he is the head of the military, and he is head of the country, and and then he has he has the presidential palace. I'm sure you have seen it. It's house. It's not a palace. First, I should say, it's a house come office for him, and uh, you'd be he has everything. He has his personal plan. Everything is or the category of safety security. But other than him, here is the point I'm telling you. Watch, you'll be surprised. Other than the president, all the ministers who are elected to be ministers, when they go to Washington, D.C., either they have to buy their own house or they have to rent a house. Okay? So there is no free accommodation for them, for all the ministers. No free loading like we do in India for ministers and everybody else. Okay? So they are just like you and me. They have to go to restaurants just like they eat with me. There is no light, what is that called? Police light or flashing light type of thing that it's a VIP or something in India. It doesn't happen that way. You would see many times even the president going to have a lunch in normal restaurants, and he would be eating on a regular seat, and he would be in the queue just like anybody else to be ordering. Let's say, for example, you are going for a breakfast to a Dunkin' Donut. You know, it's very normal here that president would also drive his car. He will be in the line waiting for his turn to be served. He will pay and everything. President, no difference. So can you imagine that in India? No. So now you get the idea how it works here. And then another thing is that president is elected by direct vote. There is nothing. Whole country elects the president by single vote, and so everybody is participating in that. And by the single vote of everybody, president elected, and nobody can change him or her for next 4 years unless he or she does some stupid things, and then you get impeached. Just like this has happened only like a couple of times in our lifetime. President Nixon was impeached. He was the only president in the modern known history who was impeached in his second term. Okay, so far good. Any question on this? Everybody's good. Brenda, you are good.
Only one question. Uh, are three citizens, but only one person is the head, in this system, right?
Yes. Yeah. President is the head of the government.
For
That's
example,
it.
the parliament, in the parliament is the prime. Okay, or in the parliament is a prime minister, but
Well, no. The parliament doesn't have prime minister in this country. There is no prime minister in this country. In
minister
the United
have
States, there is no prime minister. That is in the other system. Your so, uh, your sound is not coming. Looks like your battery is low. I can't hear you. It's getting.
I think
Uh,
it's a network issue something, Biranda.
oh, yeah. Check it out. Okay. So you once you get ready, then you raise your hand or ask me. Then I'll. But I got your gist. So there are two things there which probably you have in your mind that. So there is no prime minister in this American style system. There is there is only one power center, and that is president. He is the only one who has executive authority for declaring war, doing things, trade, or any kind of restriction. Like everyday all the work, he is the final one. The legislative branch, I told you, they are responsible for executing laws parliament. You can do that, or you can do it in the press reviews. But there is nothing like we have in India that you what you call that leader of opposition. There is nothing like that. There is no leader of opposition who has a cabinet rank in India. So there is officially only the government and head of the government, and that's it. There is no another power center around it. So, so suppose uh, right now, right now we have a political imbalance going on. Like as every country, or as you know, in India, all the government, state and central government do. We keep borrowing the money from the bank to please our voters, and loan keeps increasing. So America has also the same problem here, especially when the Democrats, which is the right now, when they are in power, Democrats in this country are more like a leftist than Congress of India, and they are not fiscally responsible at all. They believe that borrow as much as you can to please the voters. That's their law. So they they don't worry about this debt, the debt how which we are incurring now, which somebody has to pay, how we are going to pay, and when we are going to pay, when we are to cut it down. So what happens is that trillions and trillions dollar, like right now it is like if your GDP is 100 rupees or $100, your debt is more than that. I don't know the exact amount. I think it's like $120, which is not good. The ideal system is that your debt should be maybe like 50%, something like that, so that you can service your debt, and still you have some money left to basically spend. So if you think about this way, that right now United States has so much loan, that whatever it collects from the tax, you know, it goes either in debt service or paying a little bit of loan. There is nothing really left in hands of the government to do anything new unless it borrows more. So this is what is going on, and every year we keep borrowing, and then debt is like piling up. On the other hand, the Republican Party is more responsible financially. They said, no, 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 no. We cannot keep piling up the debt and, and, and expect that our future generations, our children, our grandchildren, grandchildren, they will pay for it. We are responsible for all the debt. So we should have a discipline that whatever we are spending, we should be able to collect from the taxes and pay for it. If we don't have enough, then we need to cut down the expenses. So right now we are in that situation that like president and you can call it opposition, the Senate, which is the other party, who is in the parliament. They are negotiating right now, and the meetings are going on for last few days because they are saying that if negotiations is not done, then I think by June 10th, government will shut down. Means no government office other than the army will be open because there is no money to pay for their salary or even turning on the lights or anything like that. So right now they are negotiating unless they agree that how much, I mean, they have to increase the debt. But how much? That is what the negotiation going on. So what it means that if you want to control it, then you have to cut down some of the expenses. And that's what they are figuring out. A Republican want to cut down more. Democrats want to cut down less. And so they are negotiating right now. Okay? So that's how it works financially, and this is how the viewpoints are. So opposition has, because president unilaterally cannot increase the debt and keep borrowing. This has to be there is a law that this has to be approved by parliament. And parliament, as I said, there are two houses. One is called Senate, just like our Rajya Sabha in India, and other is called House of Representatives. So uh, I am not clear how what is how the Rajya Sabha members are elected in India, like upper house, because I see there are all the leaders who have lost the election of the Lok Sabha. Normally they go to Rajya Sabha. That's how I see it. But here the power is like this: that there are 534 or 540, something like that, is the constituencies, and then there are 50 states, and there are large states and small states. So every state has equal power, and so every state has two senators. So 50 times 2, there are 100 total senators, and they are elected for 6 years in power. Every I think every 4 years there is some election. Yeah. So this is my local station noise, which you just heard. So it's so close to my apartment complex here. I can go anytime to train station and have coffee or whatever I need. And so Senate, which I was explaining, is the Senate is the, you can call it, represents all the states, small states, big states, poor state, rich state, economically developed state, agricultural states. You have all kind of states. So, but every state has equal power. You can send 2 senators each. So that's why we have 100 senators. On the other hand, there are, just like we have the Lok Sabha, different constituencies, we also have roughly about 534 constituencies here based on the population. Like, for example, New York and Texas, and California. These are heavily populated states. So naturally, they have more seats in the House of Representatives compared to many other states, like Phoenix, which is small states, It doesn't have, because it is based on population, how much population you have, and geographical area based on that is calculated. So, so basically, that's how it is in this country. Now, let us see what is the Indian system. So, uh, first I'll talk about parliament, since we are talking about comparing the Western, American parliament. Brenda, this is for you mainly because they already know. We also have two houses there in India. One is, we call it, for your information, upper house in India, we call it Rajya Sabha. And then we have the lower house, we call it, which is the parliament, real parliament. Directed elected people are, representative are coming there. And we call it Lok Sabha. So we have in the Lok Sabha uh, about 540 members who are directly elected by population, and from different constituencies. On the other hand, Rajya Sabha, or the upper house, is very weird. Uh, it's not clear to me that what does it represent. Like I told you that in the United States, it represents the state's power. But India, what I see is that ideally it is supposed to be state power, or or you can call it that, different trades like engineers, doctors, teachers, all that thing. But it doesn't really happen that way, because uh, those senators are not elected based on their trade. They are elected by state legislatures. So different state legislatures, they elect them from their state. So it is up to them. State state legislatures can decide, and they can completely select an uneducated person to be the member of the upper house. It's completely possible. We have many instances like that. So that's the one difference. And Lok Sabha election is happening. Just like here, we have House of Representative election, so that's fine. But when it comes to form the government, okay,
Yes,
yeah, okay, fine.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, so once we form the government, once they uh, ready to form the government, it is mainly the people who have come to, those who have elected in the Lok Sabha, only they can select who is going to be the prime minister. And this one is copied from the British system. So Indian system, the Lok Sabha, or lower house of the parliament, whichever has the majority seat by one, majority by one, half plus one, whichever has, you can elect a prime minister from your group. So the prime minister is not directly elected by a voter. It's like your representative, which you have selected, they will sit down in Delhi, and then they will decide who is going to be the prime minister. And this is where I have problem with this system, because direct population of the country has no say in who is going to be the prime minister. Uh, uh, they can elect somebody who has not even won the parliament. Many times we have that one situation, that somebody who is not have somebody who has not been elected by the parliament, 545 seats or whatever we have, he or she has become the prime minister.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I
So
sir.
like
I
example
like the
Manmohan.
example Manmohan Singh.
Manmohan Singh, yes. So it is. I consider it a complete cheating of the parliamentary system. That because you don't have any say in, if you elect the top position. Okay, not only that. So that is the prime minister, and then there is a little dotted line boss of the prime minister also called president in India. So, so basically, this dotted line boss, who is supposed to be ceremonial boss, it was copied from the British system. British system has a monarchy there, king or queen, right? And so our lawmakers, when we become independent in 1947, they decided to copy the British style of the parliamentary systems. And then in that one, they had a queen as a head of the government, with a prime minister, actually the executive person. So, prime minister executes everything in Great Britain in the name of the queen or king. Okay, so they in India, I don't know why, it's completely out of my mind that why you have to copy this kind of system for India. And that's what they, by the way, our politicians copied from Great Britain. And so what happened is that now in India, we have two power centers. We have prime minister and we also have president in Indian system. And then many times a situation comes, then there is a conflict of interest. And this is what happened in the recent incident when the prime minister inaugurated a parliament, new building, I think a couple of days back, 2 3 days back. So now Indian opposition parties are making noise that it should have been done by the president, who happened to be a lady right now. And they are saying that, oh, she is the officially head of the government, so she should have inaugurated the parliament, not the prime minister. And now this is the debate going on right now. So actually, who has the real authority, the prime minister or the president of India? Now you get the picture what I'm talking about.
Yes, 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 yes.
I have one question. I
Yeah.
have a I have a question. India copied the British system, but
Yes.
what was the benefit?
Okay, Pankaj, you have any answer? Let's see what you can benefit, what you can say. Yeah, I don't see any benefit. Actually, it was a huge mistake in my opinion. And that's why I am trying to understand, and I want to see from my, like, just like I'm debating with you guys, I will start writing some blog on Facebook and Twitter, and I'll asking you this question. So I said, okay, let me talk to you guys and see what you think. So it looks like, Brinda, you are already convinced that what is the benefit out of that? Why did you select? Only reason I can tell you is that the first thing is that they were very heavily influenced by British. So whatever the British system was, we copied the day, like, legal system from them. Everything, our laws of police case and all that is land related. Everything is copied from Britain. So I am assuming that they simply thought that this is a very good system. We have dual check. That's what they call it. In India, they don't believe in the fast work. They believe that, hey, so always should have check and balance so that somebody is not doing wrong or something like that. So maybe that was the motivation when they had these two power centers. But it has become a counterproductive thing now because many times this kind of tussle comes, and then opposition try to take advantage of that. Doesn't matter which political party is in the opposition. So if sometimes government makes a decision, bold decision, then opposition will become united, and start questioning the government. So right now that's what is going on. So there's a lot of hue and cry in press, YouTube, everywhere you see that bloggers are busy writing, talking about it. And so I was thinking about it. I also saw something. Then I raised this question. I said that why we have two power centers, and that was fresh in the mind. So I said, okay, let's chat about it. We don't need two power centers. It slows you down. I mean, if in America, France, United States, what we call Germany, China, Russia, if president alone can do the job, why can't the prime minister or president can do the job? I also said that, okay, I don't care what name you give. We should have one power center. President, if you want to call it prime minister, I don't have any problem with that. But why we need? It is like, a job which can be done by one person, you are hiring two. What kind of productivity this will bring? Uh, so this is what is going on right now.
I think
Okay,
I think
Pankaj, so what is the latest on this topic? Maybe now you can throw some light. You are watching the TV day and night on this subject. Like I see that all opposition, they didn't attend the ceremony, I hear,
yeah,
right?
this is very
This is
bad.
very bad.
No any
No any
opposition
opposition
party
party
or
or
member
Yes.
present
present
during this
during this
historical function.
historical function.
Yeah, and that's what I wrote. I wrote a tiny article that I said that the country will, you guys, you have politics. You always have differences, but this is not something of a 1 day or 2 day affair. This is like once in a lifetime type of situation, and this was the occasion where you all should have risen up and supported the prime minister, gone there when you all were invited. Why you didn't go? But just to get the political mileage, you guys have all abstained from this opening of the parliament. It's really same. So I really wrote that one, and then somebody wrote something back. So I was reading. I said, okay, we will
I
talk more
think
about.
nowadays
Nowadays, sir,
opposition
opposition
party
party
wants
wants
some
some
leadership
leadership
regarding how
regarding
to
how to
increase their
increase their
vote.
vote.
Yeah,
That's why the
That's
reason
why the
they
reason
avoid
they avoid
to present.
to present.
This is not
yeah,
This is not
good.
good.
That's why the reason
That's why the
they
reason
starting
they
one
starting one
different type of
different
thing.
type of thing.
President will
President
open
will
this
open this
ceremony.
ceremony.
yeah.
So
So
that means
that
So
means
they have one
they have
point.
one point.
If prime
If
minister will
prime
open,
minister
then
will
we will
open,
not
then we will
present.
not
If
present.
president
If
will
president will
yeah,
open this,
open
then
this,
we will
then we
present.
will present.
This type
yeah.
of
This
term
type of
condition,
term
I
So
like
condition,
term
I like
condition.
term condition.
yeah, it's just like blackmailing, right?
Yes, yes.
I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
yeah, and that's why I said, Roshan, who is the real power center in India? You cannot have two. You have to decide.
As like
Even
As
we are
even I
talking.
do, sir.
even I
As
do,
like
sir, as like
our
our
grandfather and
grandfather
our
and
father.
our father.
If our
So if
grandfather
our
is senior
grandfather is
citizen
senior citizen
and our
and our
my father
my
is
father is a
working
working
type,
type,
so in that
so
time
in that
power
time
is my
power is
father,
my
not
father,
a senior
not a
citizen,
senior
Yeah,
citizen,
exactly.
grandfather.
I mean,
grandfather.
So president
So
you
role
were
is
talking.
president role is as
president
a
role is as
grandfather
a
means
grandfather, means
Yeah,
they are
I
they
mean,
are
didn't we talk? Hey, look, didn't we talk 2 days back that who should be the head of the family?
yes sir.
it,
yes sir.
it was it was in this meeting we discussed that we should have only
Suppose
one.
grandfather
Who
Suppose
is
has
we are
four
grandfather
going to
four
wear the
sons.
pet,
has
either
son.
mother or father, right? If we have both equal power, it will be disaster, right? Both will try to take the family in their ways. It's not going to work.
No,
So one person has to be the authoritative power has to go to one person.
yes, yes.
Yes, yes, sir.
And okay, so now you guys have. I'm sure you will be debating with your colleagues everywhere. We need to talk about it, and that's what I put it on the Facebook, and it was fresh in my mind. I said that let's talk about this topic today.
Yes.
So, Brinda, now you see, can you tell me how are things in your parliament in Mexico right now? And how is the relationship of your parliament with the president?
Sorry, sir. I don't know much about the parliament. This is why I question for you.
No, no, no. But you should have at least some idea about your parliament, how it works. Like you have a president and you also have a parliament. I don't know what you call it. What do you call it? Let's first uh, the parliament you have. What do you call it? What is the name for it? Maybe it has
Uh,
a Mexican name,
no,
Duma or something.
it's I don't know what is this the pronunciation, but it's Senado.
Senate,
Okay,
Senate,
Yeah,
Senate.
synagogue, Senate. Yeah. Okay. So
yeah.
what you call it is pretty much like what American system has. We call it, yeah, Senate here. But we have two senates, like I was explaining. One is for the whole state, that is one senate, and then one is for the each small constituencies. So do you also have two, or do you have only one Senate? I'll have to read about your country tonight when I go back to my office. That see how is the parliamentary system. I think since Mexico is not that big a country, maybe you have only one Senate. And to
Yes,
tell you the
it's
truth,
only one.
yeah,
It's only one.
yeah. And then again, Pankaj,
Yes, sir.
this is another point. Right now the Rajya Sabha is nothing but a place for leaders
Sorry, sir.
all the people yeah, all the losers have a place to be in the parliament. So I would call it, it's not a true parliament, part of the body. It's just a Stepney wheel, which back door you can call it. You have a front door of the parliament, and then you have back door of the parliament. So they are entering to the parliament from the back door
Yes, sir.
without any, facing the election, without facing the direct voters in the country. And then again, there is, if they are representing the same group, then what is the difference? They are not representing any professional constituencies, like which was they were supposed to be like some movie actors here and there, right, from the movie industry. Similarly, they should have been actors, some actors, technicians. They all should be the part of uh, uh, Senate, in Indian Senate, where people should be, all the trades should be selecting their own representative. That's not happening right now. So is the state Senate elected parliamentarians who make the call. So it's completely bogus, and there is no power to the tradesmen or engineers, doctors, professional at all. You are just have one vote like everybody else. That's it. There is no special power.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But here,
But here,
Prime Minister is
Prime Minister is elected means
by
by direct means
member of
member of
Parliament.
parliament, and
Member of
member of
Parliament,
parliament
when
when
those
those
leaders
leaders win
direct election,
direct election,
they
Yeah.
they
they told
they
like
called
member of
like member of
Parliament.
parliament.
But in
But
Rajya
in
Sabha,
Rajya Sabha,
it's depend
it's
on
depend on
state.
state.
Legislatures. Yeah, that's what I was
Suppose
saying. So
suppose in
Suppose
Bihar,
in
suppose
Bihar, suppose
Janata Dal
Janata Dal
United
United
Chief Minister
chief minister,
and
and
yes. So that's what.
Karnataka
Karnataka right now Congress
Chief Minister.
chief minister.
So
Yeah.
So
in Rajya
in Rajya
Sabha,
Sabha,
when Rajya
when
Sabha
Rajya
election
Sabha
will
election
start,
will start,
then
then
in
in
Karnataka
Karnataka Congress
member will
member
win.
will win.
Yeah.
They
And
provide.
Bihar Janata Dal will
Yes,
win,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So
But
every
So
but
state
you
every
know,
state
but
depend.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But actually, it was intended in the constitution that it should be for the professional and tradesmen. Those
yes,
upper house,
some percentage
Some
also
like
percentage
reserve,
also reserve, as
for
like
film
for
as like
film
Lata
industry, as like Lata
Mangeshkar
Mangeshkar
or
or
yeah.
Jaya
So
Jaya
Bachchan,
Bachchan,
Sachin
Sachin
Tendulkar,
Tendulkar,
type of
this
yeah,
type
yeah,
of
celebrate.
yeah.
celebrates.
Yes,
Yes,
So
sir.
it is not. It's not reserved. It is like a token to. They're lying to the public, right? So because Rajya Sabha is the place where these loser politicians should not be going. The all these professionals should be going. That is the place for them. Like trade union leaders should be going there. Engineers, doctors, lawmakers. I mean, lawyers, accountants, uh, uh, carpenters, barbers. I mean, that is the supposed to be original intent was that is the upper house is to represent them. Uh, um, but that has been completely hijacked. The second thing also is the problem, Brinda, for India is that suppose what happens when in the elected parliament, one party doesn't have the majority vote. Let's call it, for example, that there is 100 seats in the Indian parliament, then 51 seat you need to select your prime minister. But no party has like 51 seats. There are small parties, and they have fractions. Somebody has 30, somebody has 20, somebody has 25. So then what you do? You have to form a coalition government, and to reach that 51 number, there is different permutation and combination of the lawmakers, and then that is when the corruption begins, because now the smaller parties, the two big parties, they want to form the government. So they will offer the smaller parties who have like 3, 4, 5 seats only that, hey, I will give you so many millions of dollars. You side with me, my party. And so we call it in India horse trading, this corruption. So this takes place. And then the prime minister is finally, the coalition prime minister comes in picture. But then that party and the prime minister has spent so much money in this kind of horse trading that he has to figure out how to generate that money to pay off wherever he has got the debt. I mean, and so corruption already, it encourages corruption at the top, and then it filters down to the lower level. So this is another problem we have facing. That's why Indian government is one of the very corrupt government in the whole world. It's because they cannot, no political party can normally win the election by their own, because there are so many regional parties and regional interests. So you have to form a government, but to form a government, you have to do this kind of thing. Take sides, and then if I'm the only one MP, but suppose two sides have 50-50, imagine how much offer, what kind of offer I would get, right? Because I can make or break the government. My vote is single vote, can make you the prime minister or can make the Pankaj prime minister. So you can imagine how much power I'll have. I'll tell you anything. You both will be willing to offer me everything what I say. I need a jet of my own. I need 500 Mercedes car. Here, sir. Here you go. So, so that's how the corruption breeds, and which is bad. It doesn't happen here in this country. So, and then same thing happens in the state level. Again, there is a coalition government at the state level also, because no party can form the government by their own. So you small parties, they all unite, and then they have this kind of horse trading doing that. If the four parties are ganging together to form the government, they will talk. Okay, so I'll take this ministry, I'll take that ministry, like as if it is a business. They are not behaving like a lawmakers. They are behaving like a business to exploit the system, to make the money and to pay off the bribe which they have paid to each other. So, so that's why I say that it's a completely corrupt system. It's not functioning at all. We need a American type of government system like we have here. President as the head of the government in center, and in state governor. So Pankaj, like governors are also directly elected. There is one governor, just like I told you, no ministers from the legislature. The governor is elected directly by the public, and then small constituencies, there will be senator, they are called, or whatever they are called, they will be elected, and they have only power to make the laws. They cannot become minister. Again, at the state level, governor will dominate his ministers, 4 or 5, not like 200, I mean, 2 dozens, 4 or 5, and then they will be ratified by the parliament. You'd be surprised that not people even know. Other than the governor, people don't know any ministers in general. People have no idea who is the home minister of the state, or who is the transport minister of the state, or something like that. People don't care. All they care is that governor is the head, and who is the governor. If anything goes wrong, they have somebody to blame, that is governor, not the ministers, because ministers is all the secretaries are part of the hand of uh, the governor. So that's how it works, and that's why it's very, election is done for 4 years, no problem. Now next election will happen in next 4 years. You have peaceful government for next 4 years. No horse trading like we saw in Bombay last year, like you are there, right? The whole year political drama was unfolding, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So,
So, Surender
So,
sir,
Surender
what's your
sir, what's
opinion
your
regarding
opinion
our
regarding
Prime
our
Minister
Prime
oh,
Minister
and
post
President
and
post?
President post?
I thought that he left. He's back.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
Surender
Yes,
sir,
yes,
Surender
yes.
sir, sir,
I
please,
was
sir,
on
please,
phone
Okay.
call.
please say something.
please
Huh?
say.
I was on
Yeah.
phone call. I was busy somewhere.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
We understand,
We
sir. It's our
understand, sir.
daily
It's our
routine.
daily routine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Surender sir.
Yes, Surender sir.
Our prime minister is all in all, and president has no work to do, only showpiece in our constitution. I think.
Yes, you are.
When yes, and when the government is under what is under emergency, then role of president is grows, and the country will be under control of president. Otherwise, prime minister is all in all. There is no work for the president. I think.
Okay. So,
Yes.
so let me ask you a question for you. So, do you think that only emergency happens in India, or it happens in other part of the world too? United States has been in existence for 200 years. Do you think that they never faced any emergency situation? So,
But
when they had emergency in the past, the president, who is the head of the country, head of the government, they dealt with it. So, same thing in India. If we have any emergency, and then you go and hire two employees. One employee is sitting on the side, sipping coffee, drinking beer. Only when the emergency comes, that employee will work. Other than that, the second employee, he is always working for you. So, do you really need two employees to do the job? I would not like to have the second employee who only I can use only like maybe uh, out of uh, uh, out of like 5 years, maybe for a few days here and there. So it is called like you have created like it's a busy work. We call it in America. It's not a real work for the president right now. It's a busy work. When we have too many people, you have to give everybody something to do. That is what we have done in India. That this work, whatever the president's authority we have given, that can be vested in the prime minister, and we should remove the president. Why we have to copy the British parliamentary system? Britain has a queen. They want to continue with the monarchy, so that's fine. Good for them. Let them do it. So they have like almost like 1,000 years tradition. They want to maintain that one. They want monarchy. They want all those things. But why our Prime Minister Nehru, who is supposed to be very modernist, and Ambedkar, who was a trained lawyer, these two are the main architect of our constitution, made such a bogus constitution. It is completely bogus constitution. It is nothing but a heaven for the politician right now. Not
yes,
this
I
constitution is.
agree with that, sir. I agree with that. There
Yeah,
was
this is.
no effort to make the constitution of ours. Only copied of the Britain constitution,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
put it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it doesn't. I mean, look at it. I just give you an example. How would you feel if you have a two employees, and really you needed to hire only one employee, but somebody told you that no, 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 you should have two employees, and you have to pay for it from your pocket. You and I would not like that one, but that is exactly what Indian government is doing. We as a taxpayer are paying for the president and the prime minister, and creating a confusion because you see it is such a shameless situation that half the political parties, they didn't show up in the opening of the parliament.
And sir,
And sir,
Yeah.
Sir,
Sir,
I
not
think
only
not
president,
only
sir.
president,
In
sir.
every
In
state,
every state,
Rajyapal.
Rajyapal
It is like
is
yeah,
like
president role.
president role.
yeah, that's what it is.
Yes, sir.
So we
Yes.
have to fight. See, in this country, there is always work in the government or in the private sector. You want to increase the efficiency. You want to eliminate the bogus work, you know, uh, time consuming work, which is really not a work, which is not productive. You That's what I was telling you one day about the lean engineering. Lean engineering is the Japanese invention. They said that, look, you have to do the continuous improvement. If you are running a factory constantly, there are opportunities which you have to look for, and then you have to take care of that to cut the cost. There are so many ways, and constantly your quality engineers, your process engineers, they all should be looking for all the opportunities to cut down the cost, because cost of production, as you progress, suppose you are making a part. When a new part you are making, you get a prime price for that part. But suppose if you continue making that part for 5 years, there are other competitors are jumping into the market. So the prime which you get for like first 6 months payment for your part, you are not going to get for the next 5 years. So because the competition has come up in the private economy, other people are going to make it cheaper. So to stay competitive, you have to do constantly few things, that you have to be more efficient. You have to be competitive, and competitive means competitive in the cost, competitive in the quality of service, competitive in the form, fit, and function of your product. Then that's what you have to compete for. So here in the Indian system, we have created a bogus upper house, Rajya Sabha, which doesn't mean anything. It's just I call it a assembly of losers.
Yes, yes.
That's nothing but a, you know, coffee house for losers politicians who cannot win the parliamentary election directly from the front door. They go there, and then same thing for the president. I mean, why we need president? We don't need it. We have the emergency. Prime minister should be able to handle it anyway, because if the prime minister is working for 365 years a day for last 4 years, suddenly emergency comes, and if he's still there, how a president would be a better person to deal with the emergency than that prime minister who has been working every day, who is going every day office dealing with all the departments? Doesn't make sense. I would not hire that person, president, to do the emergency handling. We need even more expert. So we'll say that, you know, prime minister, you are our operation manager. You know what is going on. You have all the control. Okay, you go and handle this emergency from the behind. What else you need from us as a janta or public? We'll give you that. Do you need extra money? Do you need any other expertise or whatever? And then that is what is the job of the parliament, who is the our body, public mouth. Parliament should give them, just like here. If the president declares a war, whenever that happens, the whole house, they never ask questions. They say, okay, what do you need? What help you need from us? Okay, you want to increase the tax? Go ahead, increase the tax. That's the most common help they want. you know, they need money to spend more. So here you go. So I'm sure today, right now, it's going on entertainment. I see like all the opposition, without fail, they are all kind of questioning the prime minister decision. But I'm very glad that prime minister, for the first time, he took a bold step. That who is the head of the country? It is the prime minister, not the president.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So at least this is a very good job he has done. He had showed to the country. You can make halla gulla noise, but what can you do? President really doesn't have the power. It is a superficial power. What can president do? He had the authority and he exercised it. Okay,
Yes,
so what else is new? Okay.
nowadays, who are
Ah,
in the favor of President Draupadi Murmu? They were unopposed when she was being to elected. They were unopposed. Yes,
well, yeah, yeah.
it is
I
politics.
mean,
They
yeah,
are finding the way how they can oppose the decision of the decision by
yeah,
taking the government. So only they feel that my duty is only to oppose the decision what is
yeah,
being taken by the government. So I think
yeah,
it is very bad thing in India going on.
yeah. I mean, you know, you guys, you all guys, everybody, we all citizens have to be. Uh, uh, People think that in this country democracy works like that. No, there is a justice system. There is so much lawsuits against the governments, against everything. I mean, you know, people are very vigilant. If you, that's what they say in America, the suing is a culture. If you violate anybody' rights, uh, you know, it's not uncommon in this country that wife sue husband and children suing the parents. That happens also in this country. This is probably only country where this happens. And uh, and then the people, citizens suing the government. It's also very common. Let me. That gives me one idea. I wanted to show you if that kind of place is here or not. I tell you, when I was living in Phoenix 4 or 5 years back, so suddenly I saw like Phoenix is a very structured city in India. I mean, sorry, in America. Everything is like very on the parallel roads. Streets are on parallel. If you do the Google map and if you ask for Phoenix, it will give you that one. So, you know, if you have a rectangular shape, small areas uh, of the housings, and then you have crossroads. So, so the crossroads pretty much like, let's say, for example, I'm making it up. This is the crossroad right now here. Let's see here. So this is the crossroad, for example. This is the straight road going this way, and then this road is coming right now. It's stopping here. So now we will have a crossing here. Suppose if you want to, there is a light, and then you want to cross, say, from one point to the other point. On that side you want to go. So what happened is that one day I see that like always the corner where we're crossing, it was like this. The curve was like this. What you are seeing here, curve exactly like this. Then I suddenly see one day that some the Mexican mansions, they are changing the curve, making this place here so that if somebody is on the wheelchair, that person can come here. Just imagine it as a pakka waved walking street. So that person who is on the wheelchair, he comes here, he or she, and now he or she will come here and smoothly transition to this road and then go on the other side. Okay. So I said, fine. I said, this is a progress. Then I suddenly checked the some other cross or overs on the 4 square corners, and I see that this is like going like a factory. Every corner, I see Manson working and changing this curved walkway. Okay, so I said, "Holy cow! What happened here? Why suddenly such a big change?" Then I came to know that one lady had sued the city government that she was like she was on the wheelchair, she was using wheelchair, and she could not roll her wheelchair at this point here. And when she rolled the wheelchair, she was elderly woman. She got injured. She has some bone issue or something like that. So she sued for the money, few $1 million, I'm sure, and then also that this need to be fixed. So city government had to fix the walkway so that now all the older generation people who has like who using wheelchair, they could come, and at this point they will not transition from higher to the lower level. They can smoothly go from one to another as if it is a continuous road, and then go on that side. Same thing, it would be the other side also. The road will be constructed. That is not elevation. you will have slope, and gradually you can go on the elevated surface. So, so I gave you this example. This is my personal experience. Okay, so here it is. This is a perfect one. I finally see one. See here, this walkway. Look at the walkway here. This is how it used to be. And so that lady sued that no, this is not good. When I take my wheelchair from this layer to the bottom here, I get injury. So this needs to be sloped, very smooth slope, which you see normally in the hospitals. So that was her lawsuit, and she won. And then the whole city has to change. The city government had to pay for it. And so that's how it happens here. Every little thing, if something is inconvenient for for the individual, they go to the court, and they just draw the lawsuit. There you go. All right, I guess
And
that's
And
enough for
sir,
today.
sir, you
one
see
word,
one word,
single,
single,
something.
something.
Yes, 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 yes. I saw that one.
Yes, yes.
So
Now it's
yeah,
Now
present
it's
in our
present in
parliament
our
every time.
parliament every time.
and you know this one was also uh, done by the Nehru a day before the
Yes,
Yes, yes,
1947.
Independence Day,
it's a
on 14th August, which was hidden from the public. And Nehru took that Singon or whatever you call it
Single.
and
single.
put it in his personal museum in Allahabad,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I
Yes,
was
yes,
reading that one. So
yes.
look at, and this prime minister who brings that from the dark, and now as a sign for our public uh, system or power, and put it in the parliament, he is being blamed that oh, why did you do that?
Yes, sir. This is I like
This is I like
stick.
a stick.
So I'm sure that right now that debate will continue for a few days.
Yes, yes.
And but yeah. So what is the chance of the opposition parties? Are they getting united to challenge Prime Minister Modi next year, or they are just making noise like this?
No, sir. I
No,
think
sir. I
in
think
this
in
year,
this year
all
all
opposition will
opposition
unite.
will unite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why the
But
reason.
That's
what about
That's why the
but
reason.
what
that's
about public?
Yes.
What about
yes.
public? What is the public mood? What public says? Who they want? Do they want Modi to continue, or they don't want those thieves to be back?
No, I
No,
think
I think
maximum
maximum
people
people
want
wants
Modi,
to
but
Modi,
I
but
think
I
the
Yeah.
think
role of
the role of
opposition, if they
opposition,
will
if they
unite,
will
then
unite, then it's
not
not
easy task
easy
for
task
Yeah.
Modi.
for Modi.
Yeah. But people have to remember what happened in probably you guys were not born even. I was telling that earlier, 79.
Yeah.
79, not, yeah, 89, I think, right? No, 79, that's correct. When we participated in JP movement,
Yes,
which was a
Yes.
complete failure. Nothing came out of it. Only we got leader like Lalu Prasad Yadav and
Mhm.
Ram Vilas Pasman and this guy type like Mulayam Singh Yadav. Uh, Even Modi ji was also a student leader, but he was of the low caliber leader.
yes,
He was not the famous leader of that time. And Arun Jaitley was the student leader. Uh, that lady who was the foreign minister, what is her name? From Madhya Pradesh, who died. She was the student leader.
Sushma Swaraj.
Sushma Swaraj.
Sushma Swaraj, yeah, yeah. So they are all the whole cabinet which you see of last. I mean, current generation of politicians in whole India are the product of JP movement. Okay,
Yes,
they were all participating in JP movement, and so what happened when the Congress government was changed? Uh, uh, these guys came into power, and they were continuing the same way as Congress was doing, loot khasut,
yes,
doing
yes,
that one, and then coalition government. There was Murarji Desai was prime minister only for a year and a half. Then I think who Charan Singh became the prime minister. Then he also lost the coalition. Then I think Chandrasekhar became prime minister. So we had three prime ministers, and then that was the game plan of Rajiv Gandhi, because they could not form the government without the Congress support, these oppositions. They were smaller groups.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So,
sir.
so Rajiv Gandhi's plan was, it was open in the air, everybody knew it, that temporarily we will support you to form the government, and for that you pay us so much money, and then after a couple of years we will destabilize you so much that people will be unhappy with you. They will forget about what happened before, and then we'll withdraw the support and we'll have general election. And that is exactly they did, and they won the election. So it was a complete waste. You know, I remember that in the JP movement, I was a student. So luckily, I was not in Patna. I was in Srinagar. But we would, in the evening after tea, when we come from the college, we all would wait for the newspapers to come. Indian Express was very famous in those days. Everybody wanted to first read Indian Express. There used to be fight among all of us. But who is going to get Indian Express to read first? We all wanted to see what JP has to say. What was the story of yesterday? Like that. So it was like Chinese Revolution. Chinese Revolution was something like that. And but what happened? It became the waste, complete waste. We didn't learn anything. We didn't change anything. And same thing got repeated when this Delhi wala became the chief minister. What was that movement? Uh, Anna Hazare, right?
Yes,
Anna
yes,
Hazare.
yes. Anna
Yes, yes,
Hazare.
Anna Hazare.
That also became another waste.
Yes, sir.
Look at
Yes,
it. So, I mean, what happens that we just keep changing the government by the revolution, but really nothing happens on the ground. And the people who participate in the revolution, when you are like 20, your parents are paying for it. So it's fine, you can participate. But by the time, Brenda, we become 30, we have to pay for our own self and for our children and family. Parents don't pay. So then you forget about revolution. You start becoming a regular worker. You start looking for job or anything, whatever you can find to do. So all these, so what happens is that some of the guys in the revolution become very successful. Like we have our own chief ministers, many of them. But most of them, they completely become unknown. Nobody know what they did, and they don't see any daylight. So it has been bad for the revolution in India.
Yes, yes,
Did
sir.
you have any revolution in your country, uh, Brenda, in last 50 years?
Yes, the revolution in Mexico was in 18, 1850.
Uh,
Was the
1850? Hmm.
yes, the revolution in Mexico.
Oh, okay. So for you guys to know that one of the famous revolution on this side, what happened is in a neighboring country of United States called Cuba. Fidel Castro was the very communist revolutionary leader in 1940s, the same time when Gandhiji was leading the movement in India. All this happened. So he was also a very revolutionary person, and he changed the government there, and then later on he became the corrupt. I mean, this is sad. Everywhere this repeats. And then his brother took over, and they pretty much were in the power for a very long time. Like Fidel Castro, he died maybe 20 years back, right, Brenda? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
something
I
like
remember. I remember Fidel Castro.
yeah. And then his brother became the president, and they had jailed so many people, they have killed so many people, they had raped so many people. I mean, basically, it was a brutal government of Fidel Castro in the name of communism and changing the life of public. Nothing changed. A lot of people came to United States and took the political asylum from Cuba. and so United States has very bad relationship with Cuba, and in fact that triggered a very dangerous situation in 1962 or 61. So Cuba was communist, and that time in America, John F. Kennedy was the president, and India Nehru was the prime minister, and in Russia, Khrushchev was the prime president. So, so Fidel Castro was communist, and it was a Cold War period. So Fidel Castro and Russians, Khrushchev, they decided that they will put nuclear submarines in that country, Cuba.
Yeah,
Uh,
so sorry for saying that this, but I remember Fidel Castro is a president in the past of Cuba, but Cuba is not a development city. And Cuba is a poor
yeah,
country, right?
yes, yeah, exactly. So that's what first thing is that power was centered, and it was like there is no free economy. There is no doubt, human mind, only the free economy works. Keep in mind, socialism economies doesn't work. It looks very nice that when communists say that do whatever you can and take whatever you need, like basically, but they never tell you that how you are going to pay for what I need. I want a car, I need a house, I need a girlfriend, I need everything, but to maintain that one there is tons of dollar needed. But who is going to give me that? They don't tell you that. So their slogan is completely empty, but that's what they say, that, oh, don't worry, after the revolution, communist revolution, you will have everything what you need. And that's how they got the Russians and Chinese, and then Cuba became the third victim of the communist revolution. And so Russians were ready to plant a nuclear submarine and in Cuba. And then CIA got a wind of that, and then pretty much it was almost that there was going to be a nuclear war for that. But then at the last moment, Russia withdrew that submarine, and it went back. That's how the war was averted. Otherwise, almost there was going to be the second World War, and second World War was going to start with the because Americans were ready to bomb everything by nuclear weapons, and Russia was also ready. So there was a tension, just like what we see now in China versus USA right now going on. It was pretty much the similar situation that time in 60s. All right, I
Yes,
guess
I don't know. I don't know if it's true, but many people.
many people what?
Oh yes, I don't know. It's a true histories, but many tourists say about visit Cuba, and different person say, "Hey, take a marriage with me," because the people in this place
Yeah,
wanna to go from here.
yeah. True. Yeah, everybody wanted to get out of Cuba. That is how it was. It was so bad that uh, people even used to swim from Cuba to United States. There was a huge ocean in between, and so people would take chance to swim. Even now they do it sometimes. I hear here and there that they would have a dinghy boat, and they will try to cross the channel of water, and a lot of people died. And then a lot of people came to this country. They took the political asylum, and but everybody wanted to come. So there is no way you can allow everybody to come to this country. So what happened is that the people who were rich, upper middle class of the Cuba, they were able to migrate to the United States because they could bring money and all that, and skill, some kind of skill, they could survive in this country, and that's what happened. So I guess For me and Brenda, it is evening. What about Pankaj? You have to go to work?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now it's five.
Too bad. Too bad you have to go to work.
No, no,
Uh,
nice. Rahul, right
Yeah,
now
okay,
Rahul,
you
so
working. Right now with
right
you,
now
sir.
with you, sir.
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the time
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
and explain.
Thank you, sir.
Huh?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so do me a favor. Yeah, it's a pleasure. Okay, what I want to do is that, yeah, wait a minute. There is a noise right now. Give me a second.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm in
okay,
the
sir.
elevator. What you're saying?
It's in an elevator. In the elevator, the network is not working well,
Yeah.
maybe.
yes.
Yes, Amanat sir.
That's
Yes, but he say, give me a second.
Yes, I think
Yes, I think
sir
sir is in a lift, I think.
once
Yes.
call it lift, right, in India. Yeah, there are many names like that that British call differently than what we call here in this part of the world. So, so what I was going to say, Pankaj, is that uh, I want to put this video on the YouTube, a discussion, or send me send me just the video because I want to post it on my or this discussion on my Facebook page where I had already talked a few things. So I was planning that, well, this discussion will be very lively and I'll explain everything the way what we think about it so that other people can see it. So just send me the video and I'll post it there. And then you post it where normally you do.
So how can I
So how
post
can I
you
post
video?
you video?
So
It's
big
so big,
and be something.
MB something.
Or maybe only share the link.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
if you have in the
Yes, sir.
what
I
you
will
Yes,
call
sir. I will send you link. You
download
can
it.
download it, sir.
no, yeah, Google Drive. All I will do is that I'll add that link into the Facebook. So anybody Facebook will when that link somebody I'll test it out that if I'm able to, when I
Yes.
put that link, it should work. I have seen that working
Yes.
very well.
Yeah, it's better the link.
Yeah, link is the way to do it. Yeah, good, Brenda. That's a good suggestion. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sir.
So that's what I'll do.
I'm
All
sending
right,
I am
you.
guys.
sending you.
Bye bye. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Bye bye.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you,
We'll
sir.
talk later. Bye.
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 Bye bye.